Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a story from Kerala, India, about a festival that pulls together ancient myths, the very birth of a holy temple, and get this, the absolutely incredible story of an elephant's lifelong devotion. So, what exactly makes this day so powerful? We're going to peel back all of the layers of belief and tradition here, from an epic battle between gods and demons, all the way to a story of devotion that honestly seems to transcend species. Okay, so first things first. The word Ekadashi just means the 11th day of a lunar cycle. It happens twice a month. But the Ekadashi celebrated at the Guruvayur Temple, that is on a whole different level. There are really three core reasons why this particular day is so incredibly special. For starters, this is said to be the exact day that Lord Krishna shared the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita. On top of that, it also marks the legendary founding of the temple itself. And finally, and this is my favorite part, it's a day to honor a truly remarkable elephant. You see, each of these layers just adds to how profound this day really is. But before we can even get to the temple or that elephant, we've got to understand the fast itself. Like, why do so many people observe this sacred discipline? Well, the answer, it turns out, goes way back to an ancient myth and a moment of pure divine intervention. So the story kicks off like a lot of great myths do, right? With a classic battle of good versus evil. You've got these celestial beings, the Devas, who are just being terrorized by this really powerful demon named Mura. They were desperate, so they did what you do. They look for help from a higher power. And who steps in? None other than Lord Vishnu himself. He takes on Mura in this long, grueling battle. But hey, even a god has to recharge, right? So he pulls back, retreats to a cave to rest. And it's right there, in that moment, when he seems most vulnerable, that the story takes this really cool twist. So just as Mura is sneaking in to attack the sleeping Vishnu, something completely unexpected happens. A brilliant, powerful female energy literally bursts out of Lord Vishnu's body. It's like a divine protector, born in that exact moment of crisis. And this new divine being, wow, she was so powerful, she took out the demon Mura with just a single fiery glance. That was it. Vishnu was, as you can imagine, super pleased. He named her Ekadashi, and then he gave her a gift, a boon, that would change things forever. And here's what that boon was. Vishnu declared that anyone who worships Ekadashi on this day, by fasting and really controlling their senses, looking inward, they'd be cleansed of all their sins and could even attain salvation. And that right there is the myth behind the fast that's still practiced by millions today. Okay, so that's the story behind the fast. But what does all this have to do with this specific temple, Guruvayur? Well, it turns out the temple's own origin story is also tied to this very same special day. It's actually a really beautiful legend. The story goes that as Lord Krishna's city, Dwarka, was about to be swallowed by the sea, he gave his personal idol to a sage for safekeeping. This sacred idol eventually found its way to two deities, Guru, who is the preceptor of the gods, and Vayu, the god of wind. The two of them went on this quest to find the absolute perfect, most sacred spot to install it. And where did they end up? At a divine lake where Lord Shiva himself was meditating. Shiva welcomed them, made space, and on this very day, Guru and Vayu installed the idol. And that's how the place got its name, Guruvayur, from Guru and Vayu. Pretty neat, huh? All right, so we've got the myth and we've got the place, but what does it actually look like when thousands of devotees come together to observe this day? Let's talk about the key rituals that really define this celebration. And right away, you see something that makes this festival really different. You know how a lot of festivals are all about big feasts and public celebrations? Well, Guruvayur Ekadashi is kind of the opposite. It's all about inner discipline, personal devotion, and fasting. The focus is really on the spiritual journey, not just the party. So what does that look like in practice? Well, there's the Vilaku, which is this festival of lights. The whole temple is just glowing with thousands of oil lamps. It's beautiful. Then there's Upavasa. That's the fast. Devotees stay away from grains, the idea being to keep the mind sharp and clear for meditation. And then, the next morning, it all wraps up with a small offering called Dwadashipanam, which is made for the welfare of the whole family. But honestly, out of all the rituals, the one that really gets me, the most unique and touching one, it's a tribute. But it's not for a god. It's for an animal, an elephant, with a legendary story of devotion.
His name was Gajarajan Kesavan, which literally means the elephant king.
For more than half a century, Kesavan wasn't just an elephant at the temple, he was the elephant. He was a central part of the rituals, and people absolutely adored him for his incredible, unwavering dedication to the deity. So his story starts back in 1922 when he was just a calf and was offered to the temple. And his life of service ended in 1976 on Guruvayur Ekadashi, the most sacred day of the year. It's just incredible. The story goes that he had been fasting himself, and on that day, he passed away peacefully with his body facing the temple that he had served for his entire life. Just a final, perfect act of devotion. I mean, can you imagine? That final moment just cemented his status as a true legend. And so today, they have this beautiful, solemn ceremony. The head temple elephant actually places a wreath on Kesavan's statue, and then one by one, all the other elephants line up and bow. They're paying their respects to this incredible, devoted soul who showed them the way. So, when you put it all together, the ancient myth, the sacred rituals, the incredible history, what's the big takeaway? What's the real spirit of this day? You know, whether you're someone who observes this day or you're just learning about it, you can kind of capture its essence in three simple things. First, a little bit of discipline. Maybe you fast or just eat lightly. Second, taking a moment to reflect on some timeless wisdom, like what's in the Bhagavad Gita. And, of course, just remembering the powerful story of Kesavan's incredible devotion. And that, I think, is what makes this story resonate so deeply with so many people. It's this powerful reminder that true devotion, it just doesn't have any boundaries. It can be so pure, so powerful, that a humble elephant is honored and remembered with the very same love as the god he served. So the story of Gajarajan Kesavan really leaves us with a pretty deep question, doesn't it? It challenges our whole idea of faith, of service, of love. It makes you wonder, maybe true devotion is a kind of universal language, one that's spoken by hearts of all kinds, no matter the species.